David. Today is the 4th of July 2016 and tomorrow I will have been on testosterone for 5 weeks. But today I do not like to talk about testosterone or the transition progress of my medical transition. Today I would like to talk about something which is very important in every trans person's life, and that is the legal name change. You might remember that I told you that I changed my name at the company to David and completed my social transition a couple of months ago. So I have been living under the name of David and in the male gender role for a number of months right now, but my legal status is still female, so I still have my old passport and my old ID card showing my female name, my birth name. And really, in the day-to-day life, there are numerous situations where you have to present official documents identifying yourself. And in every single one of those situations, I am forced to come out as trans to complete strangers, whether I want to or not, because I need to present official documents, but I cannot change my documents until that court procedure has been completed. And that court procedure has been going on for 8 months right now, and we're still not through. So I come across those forced coming out situations really every now and then. For example, a couple of weeks ago, I wanted to go on a business trip to the UK, and I booked myself a flight, and I received the flight ticket via email. And when I saw the ticket being issued for David plus my last name, I immediately thought, oh my God, this is going to put me into serious trouble at the airport once I try to travel abroad with a ticket showing my new name and an ID card or passport showing my old name, a female name. So I had to pick up the phone, call the travel agent, ask them to change back the name on my flight ticket to the female name, which they did. That wasn't a problem, but it made me feel really bad. I have been living as a male person with the name David for a number of months right now, and those situations force me to switch back into the old identity, into the old gender role, and that makes me feel bad. And it might even cause situations that are unsafe, because you never know whom to come out to. You never know the opposite's opinion on trans people. To be honest, I have so far not come across any situation which proved to be really dangerous for me, but it does cause a lot of stress for trans people. Whether you pass, whether you have a passing in the desired gender or not, if you have to reveal your past gender identity to strangers. And that happens really every now and then. The other week I went to a mobile shop because I wanted to book a Wi-Fi option on top of my mobile contract. And the shop agent showed me a few options, and I wanted to book one of those options, and then the shop agent said, let me check your contract. And then they said, oh, we have a problem here. That contract is issued under the name of blah blah, my birth name, but that's not you. And I said, yes, that is me. I am trans, I am transitioning, but my papers could not have been changed so far because blah 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 blah. So I had to come out to this shop agent guy. So I didn't want to come out as a trans person that moment, but I was forced to. And that's why it's only 2 examples why the legal name change is so important for trans people. Oh, another anecdote, when I was traveling to the UK recently, actually, of course, at UK immigration, I had to present my identity card. And the identity card has a very distinctive female name on it. So my birth name is not a unisex name like Alex, for example, which could be a male Alex or a female Alex. But my birth name is really distinctively female. And I had to present my ID card to the immigration officer. The officer looked at the card, looked at me, saw this distinctively female name, handed back the card to me and said, "Have a nice day, sir." Ridiculous, right? Okay, that was kind of funny, but these situations are not very nice and they can really cause a lot of stress. So it's very important that the name change procedure is simplified and goes quicker. As I said, I have been waiting for the name change to come into effect for 8 months now, and to be honest, I expect the whole thing to not be finalized until September or maybe even October. So I might end up with having gone through a process of 10 months time. So that's 10 months juggling with gender identities, juggling with names and official documents. And to give you an idea of how this procedure works here in Germany, I am going to show you this process in a little more detail right now. Now let's look into how the legal name change actually works in Germany. It's a court procedure, so you have to find out which the relevant local court is the one for your case, and that depends on where you live and where you're registered. For your application, you have to provide a lot of paperwork, and that paperwork is not so easy to pull together, actually. And once you have filed that with the court, in my case, nothing had happened for 2.5 months. I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and finally I picked up the phone, called the court and said, "Hi, have you actually received my application?" And they said, "Yes, we did 2.5 months ago. Oh, we didn't manage to write you an answer to that." So, yes, those courts can be not very quick, and that's not very amusing. But the next thing they did was ask me to pay some money, and they're quick with that, right? So next step was paying the court fee, which wasn't very much. It's a little bit more than 200 euros in my case, and then I had to wait again for a number of weeks. Next reaction from the court was, they asked me to provide 2 names of psychiatrists who were to provide 2 independent psychological evaluations of my case, of my wish to change my name from a female name to a male name, and to change the legal status of my person from female to male. Yes, we need psychiatrist evaluations for that, and that's a hugely controversial topic. But if you want that to be changed today, under the current legislation, that's the rules you have to play by. Next thing that happened was I paid the court for the psychiatrists. And the psychiatrists in the next step asked me to provide a trans CV. What's that? Right, a trans CV? Something like, I'd like to become a senior trans person, and therefore I attended trans university from 2010 to 2014, graduating with distinction with a master's degree in being trans. No, that's not what a trans CV is. A trans CV is more like a narrative on your life, and the psychiatrists, the experts, expect you to say something about that. I've always felt in the wrong body, and I never played. I'm a girl. I was born a girl, but no, I never had long hair. I always preferred football over playing with dolls, and so on and so on. The nasty thing about that is that's so binary. And the one thing is that we don't know whom we meet as those psychiatric experts, and many of those so-called experts are thinking in very, very binary categories. So if you are a non-binary person resisting to identify as 100% the other gender than the gender you were assigned with, it might be a little bit dangerous to say, no, I don't 100% identify with the other gender, because they might actually tell you you are not trans enough, which is ridiculous, which is highly discriminatory, and it's absolutely unbearable situation. But that's the current legislation we live with. So if you want your name changed to not be hazarded, you have to better play by the rules. Once you submitted your trans CV, you will be asked to attend 2 sessions with those 2 psychiatrists or shrinks. So you have to sit with the shrink. The shrink will have read your trans CV, blah, de blah, de blah. I've always preferred football more than playing with dolls and all that shit. And once you have sat with those two people, they will write those evaluations and send the evaluations to the court. And then you have to wait again until finally the court will ask you to attend a court hearing, which is a more or less formal thing, but it's not very lengthy. Usually those court hearings will last around 15 minutes, and that's just the judge asking you, who are you, and can you tell me your story, blah, blah, blah. So it's rather a formality than really an interesting session. And 4 to 6 weeks after the court hearing, you will finally, hopefully get some mail from the court with the deed. And that is the paper, that's the court decision, which allows you to change all your documents. That includes your ID, your passport, your bank account, your health insurance, your social insurance number, all your contracts that you have, and so on, and so on, and so on. And in my case, I expect that to happen by September or October, so the whole process will have taken, knock knock, if that goes through, 10 months or so. So yes. So this is the process of getting your name changed legally in Germany as a trans person. It's lengthy, it costs you a lot of money and patience and so on and so on. And it's very binary. So perhaps we can all think of how we can make this process more speedy and less binary in the future. Thanks for watching today. Take care. Bye.